Hi everyone, welcome to fall. The leaves are starting to drop on my pear tree now, and we're finally starting to see some cooler temperatures at night, but the colors are glorious. There's only a few trees dropping the leaves now, but everything else is still pretty green, but we're seeing touches of yellow starting to show through in the trees. But anyhow, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about planting some perennial grasses in the side flower bed. And this is a neglected area and grass is perfect for it. So let's go over there and I'll show you what I got. This is Shenandoah. You can see it here. This is an ornamental grass and it's a perennial. I have 6 of them in my cart here to plant. And the reason I want these is because of the beautiful red burgundy foliage they get in the fall. We are going to plant all 6 of them in the worst area of my yard, which is my side yard. It is horrible. Lots of clay, bad soil, but perfect for grasses. So until I amend the rest of the bed, we are going to plant them all along here to give some color to the yard. Now, Shenandoah is one of the best burgundy foliages for fall when it comes to grasses. It's deciduous and a perennial grass. It's good to -40, which is perfect for my climate. It forms an erect, compact, and narrow clump of steel blue-green foliage in the spring and quickly turns to red tones by early summer and turns violet, purple, burgundy, and wine red by early fall. So that's why I'm planting it. I'm planting it for the color. It gets topped in summer with a profusion of finely textured reddish plumes. You can see the plumes here. If we look, you can see them on the top of it. They're really, really fine. It's really hard to see them actually, but you can see them right here. Right there. Really, really fine. Almost looks like a weed in my opinion. But the color, as you can see, it's already got some color on it, is gorgeous. I think that will be beautiful in the bed. And once I start building on my colors in this side bed and start developing it, I think it'll be a nice added feature. This foliage is very airy, so it'll move nicely in the wind and it'll give some color into the winter because I won't be cutting it back. It's sturdy when dry or dormant and it stands through winter unless your area enjoys heavy snow, is what it says, providing essential coverage for birds. It grows in narrow clumps up to 3 to 4 feet tall and about 90 to 120 centimeters wide. So about 4 feet wide. It may sell seed, it may come true from seed. And is welcome in any garden style and it's used in mass plantings. It's an excellent choice for prairies, wild gardens, ponds, streams, and naturalized areas. It likes full sun and average to medium to wet, well-drained soil, which I have dry soil, so until I get water over here next year, I'm going to have to hand water it. And it will lose its upright habit if it has too much shade. So basically, keep it in full sun, keep it well watered, and you will have a beautiful plant. And I'll post a picture in the video here of what it looks like in the mounds. So I'm probably going to have them too close together, but I think that's going to be okay for now. I can always split them and move them later. So let's get planting. So I have 6 holes dug here, so we're going to put 1 in each hole. That is the plan. And then we'll dig them in. I will be loosening the roots on them because they will need it. So we'll just put them in here so we can see what they look like. You can see how they look now. They're kind of leaning a couple, so I'll straighten them out as I go. I've already watered them, so they're nice and moist, and I'll water them again after they're planted. But I can't wait for some burgundy foliage in here and some color. It will also get a bit of a screen from wind. So it should do very well in here. It shouldn't need much for fertilizing because it is a grass. So it's one of those low care plants that you put in your garden where things, well, basically where nothing else will grow. And this is the perfect spot for it for now. So I'm going to dig these all in and get them going here. And then I'm going to come through and water on top. And I'm going to straighten these as I go. All right, let's get these planted. I've got my shovel here now. I'm all ready to go. And I'm just going to wait for the traffic to go by. All right, let's get at it. So I'm just going to backfill these and get them in there because I've dug them up. And it's okay if they're a little bit higher than the ground. At least I know I'll be able to tell when they're thirsty and when they aren't. You can see how clay this soil is here by how much I'm having to break it up. But I will be amending this area. I was going to go pick up some amendments for this area, and I wasn't able to do that because things were closed and I was running out of time here. But I will be amending it and working some fertilizer and stuff in here. Although it doesn't really need the fertilizer, I'll give it just a bit just to get it started, and it will be some granular. And then I'm just going to step on it here to make sure I got it in, and we're going to go around and get these good and straight. And I'm just going to make a ring around this just a little bit so that if we do get a rain, it will be able to absorb it and hold the water in there. So that's one tip with plants that you can do. And I do that with trees too. So Rob is going to give me a hand getting these straight because he can kneel and I cannot. So that will help. And we're just going to dig these in a bit better so that they're perfectly straight here. You can see here that we have the tape measure out, and that will help get them straight. I'm not very good at eyeballing stuff, I'll be honest, for getting things straight. Rob is way more accurate, as I've mentioned in previous videos, so I'm going to get him to give me a hand on that. I did plant the first one in here already myself. You can see it there, and made the ring around it. So now we're just going to get these all good and straight, and we're going to cover them in, and we'll backfill, and then I'll water. All right, so Rob's tamping the last one in. We've got them all in now, and they're looking really, really good. You can see here, and they're lined up much better than what I could do. And now I'm going to come through. We're just tamping them into place and making sure they make good contact. And now I'm going to come through and we're going to start watering them in. And I start with the first one right here. And I'm not too concerned about the distance between them right here because they're going to fill in nicely. And because they will grow 3 feet wide, it's just going to be a mass of grass in here. So we'll start with just filling this with water and making sure it makes contact. Okay, they're all lined up in a row here. You can see them all, with the first one being the actual tallest. And you can see here, if we look real close, you can see the feathery grass flowering portion of the plant. So really, really light. I can understand why it probably does drop some seed once in a while because these probably do go to seed, but that's okay because this area could be a bit thicker with this grass, especially if it's going to have all those colors they say. And you can see it here. I'll show you what the tag looks like on them. It's not a very detailed tag. It's ornamental grass. That's it. All the tags I find, and I got these at Home Depot on sale for $6 each, all look like this with a little bit of information on the back that, you know, varies by the variety, and 40 degrees Celsius. Minus 40 degrees Celsius is its hardness, and it likes water, which all plants do. So Rob's just going to water them in a bit more for me over there where we haven't got it. And that should provide some nice color. Maybe not this year, but probably next year is where we'll see all the color on these. I think they're really gorgeous. And if we get some purples in there and some reds, it should be quite striking, especially if I plant something and work the soil in front of them right here. I want to do something with this entire space, even into the town property over there, just to spruce it all up, but it's going to need some work to be done to get there. And I kind of want to, you know, maybe hide that fire hydrant just a tad because it's, well, it's kind of butt ugly, to be honest. They did come back and touch it up a bit more. There's no difference. I can't tell a difference. But anyhow, this is the plan for this area. So now we're going to go to the backyard and I'm going to plant some creeping phlox. I found a whole bunch more on sale. I think I got them for like $1 a piece. So we're going to put them in around the gazebo. So this is 2 parts to this video, and we're getting some of these tasks done that I need to get done. So let's go. So this is the creeping phlox I'm going to plant. I did plant some of this in the front yard and I got a whole bunch more on sale. This is Purple Beauty Creeping Phlox. And it likes full sun. It's a perennial. It's hardy in my zone, which is good to -40, and I'm in zone 3B for anybody asking, in Saskatchewan, Canada. And they should do really well. It'll give me some really nice spring color, and the purple should be gorgeous. I planted pink and purple in the front in the two different beds. So since I got these on sale, I figured, hey, I might as well put some of these around the gazebo because they're pretty darn tough. So let's place these and get them planted. Okay, so I put them right along the edge here. I haven't covered them in, just wanted to see how they look placed. So I put 3 here. There are 4 here, because this is the longest edge, because I'm accounting for the corner right over here. So they'll wrap around here. And then I have 3 here. So actually 2 here, because this one I counted as the 4. So 2 here along the edge. So that's 9. So that should give a lot of color. Now the only thing I am hopeful for is that they actually are all purple. If not, I guess it'll be a rainbow of possibly pinks. There is a whitish blue, and I did actually pick up 2 of those, and then the purple. So it's hard to say. They all said purple on them. A couple did not have a label, so we'll assume that they're purple and hope for the best. Worst case scenario, you guys. I mean, if they aren't all purple, I just move them. That's just the way the ball bounces when you buy sale plants. So let's get them all covered. So here's a close-up of how the bed's looking. As you guys remember, I amended this bed with some sea manure and some cow manure, which was mixed with compost. And I think that was a nice treatment for this bed because it made a huge difference in working these phlox in. They were so easy to put in the ground. So you can see them here, up good and close, what they look like in there, next to the nepeta, some salvias over here, and then of course we have our hydrangea starts back there, the Annabelles. So I think it looks good. We have our phlox here that we planted, and then the hot paprika roses are here with more salvias and liatris there. And then you can see along here as we walk along, you can see all the phlox along the edge. So they should be pretty. Another way of doing these so they stand out is if you mound the soil up and then plant them so that they're kind of on a hill, and then they will stand out even more and you can see them from a distance. So that's another option you have with doing phlox. Creeping phlox, any sort of creeping plant actually. And then you can see them along here. There's the hydrangea that we planted. It's looking good. It's holding its own. And I'm going to water these all in here shortly. And then you can see them right along here, right up to the rose. So I think overall it is looking beautiful, considering it's that time of year where you don't get a lot of color. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you planted any of this, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, everyone.